Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next in the Demolition League 2020 final game, the first set of games, game number 5. There are 10 teams in the league, of course, so they play 5 games. So this is the 5th game of the opening day. It is the Texas Rangers taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers from Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium ballpark effects. Singles are 1 to 5, and of course, don't know how well it shows up on the thing here because the print's kind of light, but this is the scores, the season effects. 1 to 5 for singles left and right, 10 for home runs left, and 13 for home runs right. Looking at the injury or the potential injury for the starters, both pitchers, 612 is their injury mark. So if we roll a 612, we'll check for injury. Neither pitcher is very good holding runners on. Dustin May is an overall +3 when you combine it with his catcher, and Lance Lynn is a +4 when you combine it with his catcher. Good afternoon, Tribe fan, and good afternoon, Kenyon. It was kind of I'm trying to catch a window here when people aren't streaming because, Saturday night's definitely filled with people streaming. So I thought I might be able to get on here and when nothing's going on around here until dinner time. I already did all my chores around the house and things that need to get done. I usually get done on Saturday. They've all been done. So now I've got some free time to just enjoy things. All right, so there you see the lineups. Of course, no DH because the Dodgers are the home team. And so both pitchers are hitting, and of course, everybody is rated for pitching hitting card number 1. That's just the way they rated them, whether they're National or American League. I'm still trying to decide going forward whether I want to look at the previous year's 2019 pitcher hitting cards for the National League teams and maybe give them that pitcher hitting card when they are playing their games. I may do that. That's something certainly, consider because using pitcher hitting card number 1 all the time gets a little boring, to be quite honest with you. All right, I do have the game up on the Action PC computer for direct entry, but I think I'm just gonna leave it there and get to it after the game is over. I think I like the rhythm of just staying on focus here with this. So, of course, nobody's got any stats. It's brand new. Now, these are the Imagine sets. So Strat made up stats for these people. There are made up stats for Dustin May, 9 and 6, 27 starts, 3.40 ERA. I use the exact lineups without the DHs that each team used opening day along with their opening day pitcher. Sin-Shu Chu normally would have led off as a DH in their real game, but of course not using DH, so he is not there. And A.J. Pollock would have DH'd for the Dodgers, but he's out. Of course, they're on the bench. They can come in and pinch hit when needed, but right now we're going to start out with what we got. Starting in the second games, that's when we're going to start having I'm going to start having more freelance and not worry about what the original lineup was. I may stick with the rotation, the first 4 pitchers that they had in the rotation, but other than that, it's free willing. All right, so here we go. Dustin May to Elvis Andrus, 6'7". Ground ball second base X, that's Kike Hernandez, and he's a 2E34. 2 and a 6. Should get to that, you would think. 2 and a 6 is a G2. That's a 10. And the E34 is not good, but 10 shouldn't come up, and it did not. So Kike Hernandez throws out Elvis Andrus, and there's 1 away. Brings up Danny Santana, center fielder. 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Cody Bellinger. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at the E4, and the only errors for a center fielder on E4 are 4, 16, and 18. And he doesn't come anywhere near any of those, so that's a good play. 2 up and 2 down, and that will bring up Joey Gallo, the right fielder. 6-9, and that's going to be a ground ball to second for Kike Hernandez to make the play again, and that's it for Texas. 3 up, 3 down against Dustin May. And a lot of these starters have fatigue of only 5 innings. However, Lance Lynn does have a 6 here, so maybe he's got a little bit more oomph for him. I don't know. Max Muncy. And I just noticed that he is a switch. According to Strat, I'm assuming this is correct, but according to Strat, Lance Lynn is a switch hitter. He's got a 1WS. So I didn't look it up, but I just noticed that. I'm assuming he is a switch hitter, unless they really messed that one up. Hello, Larry. Max Muncy, the leadoff man. This is strange because he actually led off the real game. I thought Muncy was a very strange person to have as the leadoff man, but that's who the Dodgers chose. So what we're going with 6-7, ground ball, second base, Rougned Odor, 4 E18 for Odor. 4-2, that's bad. Devil Die showed up at the wrong time. It's going to be a base hit from Muncy. Let's make sure there's no error to add insult to injury. That's actually a 5, so we've got a rare play. So this is a 2 and a 4. So that's an SI2. So we go to the SI2 rare play and my beta rare play charts, which are definitely incomplete, but good enough for government work right now. Assuming I can find out what I did with those rare play charts. They're around here somewhere. They're under something. I just have to find them. I don't think with anybody on base, though, it's going to really matter. Usually the rare plays only come into play when there's somebody on base. I had them here. I don't know what I did with them after the last game. Well, here they are. They were turned upside down. That's why I didn't see them. SI2 rare play. The only thing that would be different is it says single fielder throws behind runner to catch him. Well, ground ball, actually, if you want to think about it, it would have been to right field because Odor couldn't get to it, but it could have gone to center as well. So I can't assume it to right field. Since it does not say a single to right specifically, I'm going to ignore it. All right, here comes Mookie Betts. And I don't think, yeah, Muncy is no threat to run. So here's Mookie Betts. Nothing on the havoc. 4-9, and that's a walk. So Lance Lynn off to a rough start. Dodgers have 2-1 with nobody out, and now the heart of the order coming up, Cody Bellinger. He's definitely got some pop. That column 3 is loaded. On column 5, 5-7. That's a 1-3 single. Anything else, he lines to first base. So that's lined right at Todd Frazier. And the Todd father makes the catch. 1 away for Justin Turner, third baseman. Corey Seager on deck. 6-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. Odor will get another chance. He's a 4 E18. 4-5, that's not going to help the cause either. 4 and a 5 is an SI1, so it's only going to load the bases, assuming there's no error. Need to check Odor for a potential error. That is an 8, and he is an E18 and an 8. E18, there is no 8 there, so there's no error, but it will be a single, and that will load the bases. It was only 1 star, SI1. So bases are loaded now for Corey Seager. Infield looking for the double play. 4-2, and that's it. And they get that Taylor. That's a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play on the 4-6-3. If you're in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, be sure to stop by the unofficial sponsor of this channel, Giovanni's Tailor Shop, located in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. Tell them Demo sent you. They might give you a discount. All right, we go to the top of the second. Rougned Odor. He had an eventful bottom of the first with his fielding. Now he gets to hit. 2-6, and he's going to strike out. Pretty uneventful. Struck him out, and here comes the Todd father, Todd Frazier. That's a 5-6, and he's going to ground it to short where Seager takes care of it. 2 down. And that takes us to the catcher, Robinson Chirinos. 5-8, and that's a solid single for Chirinos, a 2-out single. Of course, he's no threat to run. And that brings up left fielder Nick Solak. Don't know much about Nick Solak. Heard the name, but don't know much about him. 5, so he will fly at the left field. But the D20 did not cooperate. Bottom of the second, still no score from Dodger Stadium. Coming up is Kike Hernandez. Of course, they call him Enrique Hernandez. Now, Action PC calls him Kike Hernandez correctly. But Strat and all these other game companies are too chicken to put his real name in there. 1-2, and that's a fly to left, one away. I mean, last time I checked, the keyboard did have an accent mark or an apostrophe or something you could put there to denote that it's not a derogatory term. I don't think that costs a lot of money to do that. 2-10's a ground ball, 2 down. Here comes Austin Barnes. 6-8, and that is a 1-3 triple. That's a 12. It'll be a double for Austin Barnes. Fortunately for Lynn, the pitcher spot is coming up, Dustin May. And, of course, everybody using pitcher hitting card number 1, at least on opening day. 6-8, though, it's off the same head. And there is the fallacy, one of the fallacies of Strat-O-Matic. I'm almost thinking about home brewing it and forcing the roll to come off the pitcher card. 2 goes a here, a 3-4 here, and a 5-6 here, and not even going to the pitcher card when the pitcher bats. That almost seems more fair to me, more realistic than this. But hey, it's an RBI. That's an 8, so it's an RBI double for Dustin May, and the Dodgers lead it 1-0. But therein lies the fallacy of the 50-50 model. Here's Max Muncy. What do you think about that, Tim or Larry or whoever, Kenyon? Do you think when the pitcher bats in Strat-O-Matic, we should just put it off the pitcher card and not do the 50-50? Force the pitcher to hit off his own card? Make it more realistic? 2-10, and that's a ballpark blast, and that's a 16, so it's out of range. It'll be a fly to right to end the inning. But it just cost the Rangers a run by doing that, by going off the pitcher's card. It did cost them a run. All right, so we go to the top of the third, and it'll be Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And he seems to follow me around in just about any league I do. This guy seems to show up with different teams. For whatever reason, I don't know why. 6-7, and that is going to be a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Kike Hernandez. He's a 2 E34. 216 is good, but the E34 is questionable. That's a 16. E34, there is no 16. There's a 12, 14, 17, and 18. So Kike Hernandez somehow makes the play without an error. So now we got Lance Lynn batting. 1-3 for Lynn. That's a ground ball to second. 2 down for Elvis Andrus. Andrus grounded to second his first time up. 2-7, and that's a strikeout. That'll be the second strikeout for Dustin May. And we go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Dodgers. Mookie Betts will lead it off, followed by Bellinger and Turner against Lance Lynn. 2-6, and that's a walk. Now, Betts will be looking to run because Lance Lynn has that +4 hold rating, +3, and the +1 from Chirinos. He needs a 7 to get the lead. And he gets the 7 right on cue. How do you like that? 19 being held as a 17, but the +4 is a 21. So the only way he makes an error, only way he's out is on a 20. And he's not. That's be a stolen base for Mookie Betts. So Mookie Betts steals second base. He's in scoring position with nobody out for Cody Bellinger. And according to the records of these teams, real world records, the Dodgers were far and away better than the other 9 teams in this league. So if you go by that, they should run away with this, but you never know what the dice will say. 4-3, it's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Gallo. He's a 1E4 for Joey Gallo. 1 and a 6 should be okay. I don't think the runner can move up here. Maybe he can. If it's an F2, he possibly could. 1 and a 6, it is an F2, so he does have a chance to move up. That is an 11. Make sure there's no error, first of all. E4, there's no 11 there, but it is an F2. And an F2, a runner on third may try to tag and go to second. A runner on second may try to tag and go to third. And save chances, running speed, plus outfielder's arm. So Running speed's a 17. Gallo's a -4. That's a 13. 1 to 13. Boy, do you risk that, though, is the question. 1 to 13. I think they're going to hold him there with that Gallo -4 arm. I think they'll hold him up. Here's Justin Turner. By 4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at kind of Falefa. He's a 1E19. 1 and 11. He'll get to that. E19, and that's an 8 at third base. E19, there's a 7, but there's no 8. So good play, and with the ball hit to third on a G1, that will hold the runner. So 2 down. Clutch situation for Corey Seager. In the clutch, he loses a hit on 1-8, on 3-5, and on 3-12. .110, though, is a ballpark blast. It's 1 to 10, but that's a 14, so just a deep fly to right, and just missed a home run once again. So at the end of 3, it's 1-0 Dodgers as we go to the 4th. Santana, Gallo, and Odor. 2 up. 6-2, switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball to first. Easy play for Muncy for 1 away. For Joey Gallo. 4-6, and that's a base on balls. First walk issued by Dustin May, Mr. Carrot Top himself. The only thing I remember about him is he had the big red hair. That's all I can really remember about him. And he didn't stay around very long, I don't think. I don't know if he had injury problems or what happened. I thought he ended up going to Boston or something, but I could be way off on that. Here's Odor, 1-7, and that's a ground ball. That's another tailor-made double play. Another tailor-made double play. 4-6-3. This one turned by the Dodgers. Another Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play ends the inning. Go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0. The only run, an RBI double by the pitcher, Dustin May. Here's Kike. 3-7, and he will fly to center field. 1 down. For Jock Peterson. Mookie's a bowler, huh? 6-5. That's a ground ball to shortstop X. We are looking at the shortstop Andrews. He's a 3E17. 3 and a 9. 3 and a 9 is a G3. That's good enough. That's a 12. And he's an E17 at shortstop. There is no 12 there, so it's a good play for Andrews. He makes the play. 2 down. And here's Barnes. He doubled and scored first time up. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to second. Odor makes the play. 4 innings in the books, and it's still 1-0 Dodgers. Due up for the Rangers, it'll be Frazier, Chirinos, and Solak. For the Texas Rangers, Frazier grounded to short his first chance. 1-2, and that is a low max, but nobody's on base. But it is snagged by Kike. 1 down. This thing is irritating. It won't stay put. Stay there. Here's Chirinos. 4-2, and that's a split chance. 1-6 is a single, but that's a 20, so he lines it to second again. 2 down for Nick Solak. 3-10 for Solak, and that's a ballpark single check. It's only 1-5, so that will be a pop out to second base to end the inning. So nothing doing there. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and Dustin May keeps full endurance for the 6th inning because of that. He is set to lead off, but he's pitching so well. And besides, he's got the RBI double, so why would you pinch hit for him? Here's Lynn. 3-10, and that's a ground ball to third base. Kind of Falefa takes care of it. 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and Max Muncy. Muncy 1 for 2 with a single. 4-8, and this time he will fly it to left field. And that's hauled out there by Solak. 2 down For Mookie, you better, you bets. He has walked twice, stole a base as well. Oh, I didn't even need the D20 because nobody's on base. 3-7. Well, they're on base now. 1-2 is a triple. That's a single. That's a 2, so it will be a triple for Mookie Betts. Double Die came up with a 2. They rate him to have 4 triples. He just got one right here on his opening day. 2-out triple for Cody Bellinger. Now Lynn has to be careful. 3-8, and that's a pop out to second base. Boy, 3-9 would have been a 2-run homer, but 3-8's a pop out to the second baseman Odor to end the inning. So we go to the 6th inning. It's still 1-0. And this is the final inning for Dustin May. I'm going to cap him at 6 innings, just to be realistic. 2-4, although it is Demolition League, so how realistic does it need to be? 2-4, ground ball to first. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for Lance Lynn as they need some offense. And they will go to Sin Shu Chu. He was the DH in this game, real world, so he'll get his one at bat right here. So Chu will pinch hit here in the 6th for Lance Lynn. Chu was estimated to have a .243 average and 12 home runs. And Lance Lynn's day is done. We'll total his numbers up in the bottom of the inning. So here's Chu. 2-7, and he struck him out. So much for Mr. Chu. And here's Elvis Andrus. Dustin May has been dominant. 3-5. Solid single for Andrus, a 2-out single. And he might be looking to get the lead, especially with that +3 for Dustin May. He needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, or 12. 6 does not get it, so he cannot get the lead. So here comes switch hitting Danny Santana. Played more games at first base, but on opening day he was a center fielder. 3-5, and he's going to draw a walk. So 2 on, 2 out now for Joey Gallo, and now Dustin May. He might get some relief here. They may be going to a lefty out of the bullpen. And in the real game, in game 1, they used these 3 pitchers out of the bullpen for real. 2 of them were lefties, Kolarek and Ferguson. So let's see how they want to play this. Do they want to have a lefty take on Gallo, although he's pretty good against lefties too? Tough choice. Tough choice. They're gonna go to the bullpen. They're going to bring in Adam Kolarek to try to get out of this tough situation. Dustin May, 5 2/3 innings. And we'll see what he can do with Kolarek, the lefty, can do against Joey Gallo. Whoop, backwards. Although I guess I could do it the other way around. I'm so used to it this way now. So Kolarek, I don't know anything about him, but I know he pitched in the opening day in real world in 2020. And he is left-handed to go against the left-hander Gallo. So Kolarek to Gallo. 4-9, and he gets him, strikes him out. So Kolarek does the job, gets the strikeout, and he'll come back and pitch the top of the 7th as well. Gets the strikeout there. So no runs allowed for Dustin May. I believe he walked 2, and he struck out 3, and he gave up just 2 hits. So a nice outing there for Lance Lynn. He gives up the 1 run, goes 5 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. He walked 2, both Mookie Betts, and he did not strike out anybody. I don't see any strikeouts on his scorecard. So he stands pat with no strikeouts. Now we go to the Texas bullpen, and they will need a fresh arm. And I believe one of the first guys out of the bullpen in the real game I believe these two guys pitched in the real game. These three guys, rather. If I looked it up correctly, I think these three guys pitched in the real game. Jesse Chavez, righty Hernandez, and a lefty Rodriguez. But we need the righty, so they're going with Jesse Chavez. He will be the new pitcher for the Rangers. And Chavez has a -1 hold, so that makes him a 0. So still 1-0. Now the question is, do we have a double switch? We could have a double switch here. Because Gallo made the last out. They could go to Sinsu. No, they're far enough away. They'll just keep it the way it is. No double switch. Just in case RJL watches later, we don't want to give him convulsions. All right, here's Justin Turner. 6'8", and that's a solid single for Justin Turner. He will not be held. And here's Corey Seager. Two-3 for Seager, and that's a ground ball first base. Hey, that's a 3-6-3 double play. Pitcher's best friend. Seager is hitting the 2 double plays in this game. 2 off bases empty for Kike. 6-7 for Kike, and it's an in-home run chance 1-9. That's a 19 though, so it's just a fly to left. And Chavez does his job. He may come back and pitch a second inning as well. Only face 3 batters. And he is set to, well, he's not set to bat very closely. But Kolarek is set to bat 3rd next inning. So they like to be able to get Kolarek through this inning, then pinch hit for him. Rougned Odor, your batter, followed by Frazier and Chirinos. 6-6. Kolarek lefty on lefty against Odor is a ground ball to first. And Mr. Muncy will take care of that. Here's the Todd father, Todd Frazier. 3-12 for Frazier. That's a base on balls. Frazier really no threat to run. Chirinos, they're going to pinch hit for Chirinos. They need some offense. So we're in the 7th inning, so pinching is now allowed. So let's look at the rest of the bench. For the Rangers, they have 4 other bench players. They've already used Chu. They have 5 bench players total. 2 lefties, Ronald Guzman and Willie Calhoun. The backup catcher, Jeff Mathis, who's not very good, he would come in for defense. And Leo, I'm not even sure how to pronounce the first name, Leody Taveras? I have no idea. He's a 241 hitter. So they're going to have Taveras pinch hit and then have Mathis stay in the game to catch. So Taveras will pinch hit. And like I said, I don't know how the first name is pronounced. So I'm just totally guessing. Try not to do an ID gesture on it. And Mathis will catch in the 7th. All right, so Leody Taveras, I guess. My best guess. I put it in I got to put it up here. There, that's where the pinch hitting is taking place. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. So Taveras, a switch hitter, will bat right-handed against the lefty Kolarek. 6-6, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. Another tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop getting all kinds of publicity in this one with another tailor-made double play. And that'll do it for Kolarek as well. He will go in an inning and a third. A walk and a strikeout, nothing else. And we're at the bottom of the 7th. And for the Dodgers, it will be Peterson, Barnes, and a pinch hitter for Dustin May. For Kolarek. Right now, Chavez back out. He went up. He only faced 3 batters, so he's back in there to pitch. Facing Jock Peterson. 6-5, lefty, and that's a strikeout for Chavez. I guess it's Chavez, not Chavez. I'm not kind of or don't really know how it's pronounced. I know the third baseman for the Oakland A's was Eric Chavez, I think, but I think Jesse is Chavez. But I guess you can pronounce it any way you want to. Here's Austin Barnes. Whoop, that red die didn't go through. it got blocked out. So let's try that again. 2-7 for Barnes. That's a solid single. 1 out single, and now we'll get a pinch hitter. We will have a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Kalarick, and we'll go to the Dodger bench. They have 2 left-handers, Matt Beattie and Edwin Rios, and then 3 right-handers, A.J. Pollock, Chris Taylor, and Will Smith. Now, Pollock DH'd in the real game, so we're going to give Pollock the at-bat, even though it's a righty on the mound. We're going to give Pollock the at-bat since he was the DH, and we know he played in this game. So Pollock will get the at-bat. Runner at first, 1 out. Against Jesse Chavez. 1-7, and he strikes out. Does Pollock. 2 down. And we're back to the top of the order for Max Muncy. .210 for Muncy. That's a ballpark blast. 1-10, but that's a 13. Would have been a home run for righty, but he's a lefty. So 1-10. Just a deep fly to right, and Chavez escapes trouble. And that's it for Chavez. They'll pinch hit for him in the 8th inning. So Chavez is going to go 2 innings. Give up 2 hits. Strikes out 2, gives up nothing else. So we need a new pitcher for the Dodgers. We'll look at their bullpen. And again, the guys they used, and I'm not limiting myself to the guys they actually used in the real game. I was just showing that for FYI version, I guess you call it. But they're going to go with Joe Kelly. He's going to be their setup guy for Kenley Jansen. So Joe Kelly, they have him as 3 starts, so obviously he was like an opener or something like that. So Joe Kelly will get the call. And Kelly is a -1 hold. And he'll be facing Solak, Kiner-Falefa, and a pinch hitter for the Rangers. Rangers don't have much left on the bench, but they do have Ronald Guzman. And they have Willie Calhoun. Looks like they'll go with, they'll go with, boy, who's got the better power here? 9. They got about the same amount of power. 391 slugging, 4.7. Well, it depends on who's on base. If it's 2 out spaces empty, they need a home run, I'll go with Guzman. If they need a base hit, I'll go with Calhoun. So it's going to be dependent on who's on base. All right, here's Solak. Solak is 0 for 2. They could actually pinch hit for Solak. He's a bad hitter. He's 263, though, so I think we'll stick with him just to play the percentages. 5-7, and that's a base on balls. Leadoff walk. And that'll send up Kiner-Falefa. And I don't think you're going to pinch it for him either. 273 hitter, so he's going to stay put. 2-4, and that's a ground ball first base B, so it's going to be a fielder's choice. 3-6. And now with that, looks like they're going to actually go with Willie Calhoun. So that'll leave Guzman as the only remaining bench player left. So Willie Calhoun will pinch hit here in the 8th inning. Calhoun was given 234 average with 9 home runs. So 1 on, 1 out. Still a 1-0 game. 2-5, and that's a solid single for Calhoun. Base hit. It is to left field, so that means Kiner-Falefa will stop at second base. So runners are at first and second with 1 out for Elvis Andrus. Kelly trying to pitch out of the mess. .48, and that's another walk. That might be it for Joe Kelly. I'm not sure they want to stick with him much longer. He doesn't seem to have it today for whatever reason. 2 walks and a hit. So they will pull Joe Kelly. Kelly will go 1/3 of an inning. give up a hit and 2 walks. He's responsible for everybody on base. The batter is switch hitter Santana, so it really doesn't matter at this point if you go righty or lefty. Again, their closer is Jansen, so you want to save him for potentially the 9th inning. Do they want to make Santana bat lefty or righty? They want to make him bat. They're going to bring in a left-hander here. They're going to bring in Caleb Ferguson and turn him around and make him bat right-handed. He's not quite as good against the lefties. So Ferguson, the other lefty, he is a +5 hold. Not that that matters right now with the bases loaded, but that's their best chance. And also Gallo on deck is another lefty. So going with the lefty here. Bases loaded, 1 out, infield back for the double play. Four 9, switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's a strikeout by Caleb Ferguson. So huge strikeout for Ferguson. Now there's 2 outs and the bases are loaded for Joey Gallo. Lefty on lefty matchup, but he's got some home runs here in column 2 against the lefty. Clutch situation. 3-9 lefty. That's a 1-9 double, but that's a 20, so it's a fly to center. And Caleb Ferguson gets it done. And he will set it up for Kenley Jansen in the 9th. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rangers will need a new pitcher. That's it for Ferguson as well, obviously. And let's see who's going to pitch for the Rangers. Coming up for the Dodgers, it's Betts, Bellinger, and Turner. Right, left, right. Seager, a lefty behind him. So could go all kinds of directions, I suppose. But let's see. Do we go with Jonathan Hernandez? Was he any good? He wasn't bad. We'll go and go with Jonathan Hernandez since he pitched on opening day in real world. Why not? Just as good as anybody else. So Hernandez will come on. Don't know anything about Jonathan Hernandez. But his protracted or his expanded numbers based on the Imagine set, he's 9-3, 3.45 ERA. That's not bad for modern baseball. He's going to face Mookie Betts. And that double from Dustin May, the 2-out double, has held up this whole game. Here's Mookie Betts. 4-6, that's a strikeout for Hernandez. 1 away for Cody Bellinger. Of course, Kenley Jansen getting ready in the bullpen for the 9th. 3-5, and that's a ballpark blast on a 3-5. It's a 1-10, but that's a 15, and that's like the 3rd time that we've had a ballpark blast, but the D20 has not given the Dodgers a home run. So Texas pitching has lucked out so far. Here's Justin Turner. 5-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Andrews. He's a 3-E-17. 3-20, he'll get to that. E-17 and an 11 is no problem. So good play for Andrews. He makes the play. And now we go to the 9th. Last chance for the Rangers. And that'll be it for Hernandez. He goes 1 inning, doesn't give up anything. So coming in to pitch for the Dodgers is their closer, Kenley Jansen. He was given the statistics of 7-3, 3.27 ERA, and 43 saves. So Kenley Jansen coming on. He does have a +4 hold. So if they get somebody on, they could run. It's going to be Odor, Frazier, and Mathis, and you can't pinch hit for Mathis because there's nobody else left to catch. The only guy on the bench left to pinch hit anyway is Guzman. And I'm not sure he would pinch hit him for unless it got down to the pitcher. All right, here's Odor against Jansen, 6-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Corey Seager, 3-E-31 for Seager. 3-14, he'll get to that. That's a 15, and he is an E-31. E-31 is a 15 right here in the middle. Corey Seager just booted it. And E-31 and a 15, he boots it. So E6 to start the inning. That could be the thing that opens the door for the Rangers. Frazier, your batter. No thought of any bunting because you can't bunt. Guys in the modern baseball just can't bunt. So Door at first base. Here's Frazier. 3-10 for Frazier, and that's a 1-8 single. That's a 12, so it's a line out to third. And that is snagged by Turner. 1 away. Here's Jeff Mathis. We have to hit with Mathis because we already hit for the catcher earlier. So got to stick with him. You have no choice. Even though he's a horrible hitter. 187. Does have a decent column 1, though, if he happens to get that. 4-7, though, it's going to be a walk. Well, how about that? He gets on base via the walk. Now the Rangers have something cooking. Nick Solak steps to the plate. So they got to hold Guzman in reserve in case they get to the pitcher spot. You want to have him there for that. Here's Solak. That's a 1, but he's got a 0 wild pitch rating. 1-8 for Solak. That's a single, 2 stars, and we got a tie ball game. Kenley Jansen, the blown save, and it was all predicated on the E6 on Corey Seager, and now the Rangers have a chance to take the lead. Runners at the corners, only 1 out, and now Ronald Guzman is on deck to hit for Hernandez. And we'll figure out whoever the closer is for the Rangers and bring them in if they take the lead. Runners at the corners, 1 out for kind of Falefa. The infield is going to have to come in. They can't take the chance that they're going to turn a double play. They don't want to have a ground ball B score the run. So they're going to bring the infield in. No question about it. The infield is in. 4-5. Kenley Jansen gets a strikeout, much needed strikeout. And now the pinch hitter, Ronald Guzman, for the Rangers. He pinch hits here in the 9th for the pitcher, Hernandez. Guzman, 245 average, 9 home runs on his simulated stats on the imagined. Clutch situation as well, so we check his clutch at bats. He's not very good in the clutch. He loses a couple hits right here, and 1 on 312 and 1 on 3-2. So he loses 4 hits. It's definitely a clutch situation. Jansen trying to keep this game tied. 1-4, and he does. It's a fly to center to end the inning. But we go to the bottom of the 9th. Jansen blew the save, but it was an unearned run that was his undoing. A single, a walk, and a strikeout. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. And with the score tied, of course, they won't use the closer. They'll use somebody else. Let's see who they might want to go to. Here are the guys that are available. They've got lefty Joely Rodriguez. And they've got, let's see, and they got lefty Brett Martin. And then these are the 4 righties. They got Nick Goody, Ian Jabot, Jimmy Herget, whatever, Rafael Montero. Due up for the Dodgers, it is Seager, Hernandez, and Peterson, a couple of lefties. So that means, to me, we narrow it down to these 2 guys. Rodriguez actually pitched in the real game, so we'll go with him just for the heck of it. So Rodriguez. So if you look at the real game on 2020, opening day for the Rangers, these are the 4 pitchers, and I believe it was in this exact order. Not that I'm trying to copy that, but it's a good model for opening day. So Rodriguez is a +3, makes him a, let's see, Mathis. What is Mathis's arm? He's a -2, so that makes it a +1. All right, so the Dodgers, bottom of the 9th, Corey Seager stepping to the plate. They're trying to walk it off. Lance Lynn off the hook for the loss, but unfortunately, Dustin May loses a potential win he would have had. 3-5, lefty, and that is a single for Corey Seager. He said, I don't care about lefty, I'm going to single. Kike Hernandez is up. Not a very good bunter, of course, so he's 0 for 3. They're going to see if he can make something happen. 2-5 against the lefty, and that's a strikeout. So Kike down on strikes for Jock Peterson. And they would hit, of course, for Jansen if it gets that far. 1-8, and as they fly to left, 2 down. And that'll bring up Austin Barnes, pinch hitter on deck for the Dodgers. Let's see. They have we've already used Pollock, but they do have from the right side backup catcher Will Smith and Chris Taylor. That's kind of who you go with. As long as you got the lefty in there, we're probably looking at Chris Taylor, because you probably want to keep Will Smith as long as you can in case they need a backup catcher. So Barnes is your batter unless you pinch hit for Barnes. I think they're going to go ahead and let Barnes hit. 6-4, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. And that is, let's see, were they holding Seager? Well, it doesn't matter, because when you're right-handed batter, the second baseman's responsible, not the shortstop. So Andrews keeps his 3-E-17. 3 and a 4, that's iffy. 3 and a 4 could be of trouble. And it is single 1 star. That's an 8. And he's an E17. There's no 8 there, but it is going to be a base hit. And now that'll bring up Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor will pinch hit for the Dodgers here in the 9th. Right-hander Chris Taylor. On his imagined season, they gave him a .255 average with 18 home runs, so pretty good. Now, what you do with Rodriguez, do you bring in a righty? I think the Rangers are going to bring in a right-hander to try to get out of the inning. Question is, who do you bring in, and who is their so-called closer? Do they even have one? Well, Montero is rated with 24 saves, so we'll hold him off to the side. Means we're going with one of these 3 guys. And I don't know if any of them are any good. 4.42 ERA, 5.90. We'll go with the best ERA they got, Jimmy Herget. 4.42 ERA in the imagined section. So we'll go with Herget, the right-hander. And he is a 0 hold, so that makes him a -2. So first and second, clutch situation for Chris Taylor against a right-hander now. Chris Taylor in the clutch against right-handers will lose a hit on 210. Everywhere else he is neutral. Base hit could win it. Walk it off. 6-7. That's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Odor, and that's trouble because he's a 4. This could be a SI2, and that could end the ball game. 4-17, though. He got saved by the double die. 4-17 is a G1. That's a 6. So assuming there's no error there, we'll go into extra innings. He is an E18, and there's no 6. So good play, and we are going to the 10th inning. Free baseball here at Dodger Stadium. That's it for Chris Taylor. He's done. Now the Dodgers will need a new pitcher. Herget will stay in and pitch at the bottom of the 10th, I assume. Unless they get the lead, then we'll bring in Montero, their closer. So the Dodgers need a new pitcher. They have some right-handers. They have Blake Trinan. Blake Trinan, Dylan Floro, Brusdar Gratterall, and Pedro Baez from the right side. And they've used their 2 lefties already. Each team has 8 bullpen pitchers. They have 4 starters and 8 bullpen pitchers. They've used 4, they got 4. All 4 left are right-handed, though, so it's just a matter of who you want to bring in. And according to this, Dylan Floro's got the best ERA, so we'll go with Dylan Floro. So Dylan Floro will be the pitcher. 6th pitcher used by the Dodgers. Hello, D. Scott. So top of the 10th we go. Elvis Andrews, the batter. We get a 6-11 for Dylan Floro. That's a ballpark single check. That's a 15, so it's way out of range. Just a liner to short for Elvis Andrews. Brings up Danny Santana. The Rangers have no bench players left, so they got to stick with who they got. When they get the pitcher spot, we got to insert pitching card number 1 and live with it. They used everybody to get to this point. 1-7. Ground ball to second, 2 down. Although conversely, the Dodgers have used more pitchers, including their closer. So depends on how you want to look at it. Who's in the better situation. Joey Gallo, 2-3. That's a ballpark blast. They could put Texas in a better situation right here, 1-10. But that's a 13. Had he been right-handed, it would have been a home run, but not left-handed. So just a deep fly to right, and Dylan Floro, a 1-2-3. 10th inning, and he's going to come back and pitch the 11th, if there is one. Herget's going to come out and pitch the 10th. He only faced one batter. He's going to face Muncy, Betts, and Bellinger. 2 out of 3 are left-handed, but they've used both left-handers already. In fact, I didn't put in the numbers for Rodriguez. I should have, and I didn't do it. Rodriguez gave up 2 hits, went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits and a strikeout, no runs. Keep that organized there. All right, so Muncy's going to lead off in the bottom of the 10th. 5-8. That's a 1-3 double. That's an 18. He flies to center. 1 away for Mookie Betts. Dodgers trying to walk it off here on opening day. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. 2 down. Cody Bellinger. 1-7 for Bellinger, and that's a 1-18 single. So that's a base hit. 2-out single for Bellinger. And he might look to get the lead, although Herget is a -2, but still that's a good chance. 19, he's going to try for the lead, needs a 6. Doesn't get it. And that'll bring up Justin Turner. I'm being summoned downstairs, so I'm going to try to get this last out. And I didn't even need to roll it because we already did it for that. 2-10 for Justin Turner. That's a ballpark single. That's a 10. That's a 5. It's a pop out to short to end the inning. So we're going to the 11th, but I need to take a quick break because I'm being summoned. And probably a good idea to stretch anyway. So I'll be right back. 1-1. We're coming back for the 11th inning. Okay, we are back for the top of the 11th. Sorry about that delay. Dylan Floro will come back out, and he'll pitch to Odor, Frazier. And in fact, I'm going to move this over here because it's starting to run out of room. So we got Odor, Frazier, and Mathis due up for the Rangers. 3-7. 1-11 is a single. That's a base hit for Rougned Odor. Leadoff single. Floro is a -1. And Barnes is a 0. So let's see. Rougned Odor, if he got the lead, it'd only be a 1-12, but still, with no offense, you got to try something. 2 through 6 on 11 or 12 gets him the lead, and 8 he's picked off. 7 he does not get the lead, so moot point. Can't go anywhere. Here's the Todd father, Todd Frazier. 6-9, and that's a 1-13 triple. That's a 5. That's a RBI triple from Todd Frazier. And now the Rangers take the lead, 2-1. RBI triple from Frazier. Well, Dylan Floro had a decent number here, 7-3, 3.27 ERA, but boy, he's given up a single and now a triple. And that'll bring up Jeff Mathis. The infield's going to have to come in. And now in the bullpen for the Rangers will be their closer, Rafael Montero. So we'll fix Herget. Herget went 1 1/3, and he gave up a hit, nothing else with a strikeout. He could potentially be the winner. Here's Mathis. The infield is in for the Dodgers. No other way to play it. 1-7, and that's a walk. Boy, that's not what Dylan Floro wanted right there. They may have to go to another pitcher. I don't know. Floro's got good numbers, though. He's just getting bad rolls. So, that was a walk, not a single. My bad. That was a walk. All right, so here's Solak. Again, the infield is in. You're down by 1. Double play didn't really help you any. You need to get out at the plate or strikeout. 6-4. Catcher X. That could be troublesome. Barnes is a 2E1. 2 15. 2 15 is a foul out. So he gets out of that 13, and he's an E1. That's not a problem. That's a foul out, so that certainly helps. And here's Kiner-Falefa. And you could walk Kiner-Falefa to load the bases and make the pitcher come up and hit. But then that means Andrews would still hit after him, most likely. But I think that's the gamble they're going to go with. They're going to intentionally walk Kiner-Falefa to load the bases, and they're going to force the pitcher to hit. So the pitcher, Jimmy Herget, is going to stay in there to hit. It's still his at bat, Jimmy Herget. Infield is in. 2-10, and that is I look at that, he walks the pitcher. Are you kidding me? Pitch ready card number 1, the only walk on the card is a 2-10, and we just found it. That's it for Dylan Floro. He has walked 3. And it is now 3-1 ball game. The bases are still loaded with only 1 out. And Dylan Floro has literally crapped the bed, as they say. So Floro is out of there. He goes a third of an inning. And he's going to give up 2 hits and 2 walks. So far, 2 runs. The others are his responsibility. And they'll have to go to somebody else out of the bullpen. Looks like they're going to go to Pedro Baez. See if he can get out of the jam. 2 runs are already in. Here's Elvis Andrews. Base is still loaded. Infield still in. Can't afford to not get the double play. 6-8, and that's even worse for Pedro Baez. 6-8. That's a bases clearing triple for Elvis Andrews. So all of a sudden we had all this pitching for 10 innings. Then the 11th, all hell breaks loose. A base clearing triple. All 5 runs are charged to Dylan Floro, and they're all earned. So I don't know what that ERA is off the top of my head, but a third of an inning giving up 5 runs can't be good. And now I don't think they're going to use Montero. Montero is sat down now. They may let Herget go ahead and finish the game. Since he hit for himself, he's still in the game technically. Here's Santana. Infield is still in. This has been a fiasco. 2-7. And that's a ground ball first base A with a plus sign, so that's going to get through for a base hit. They had the infield in, but you had to. You didn't have much choice. 6 runs are in. It's now 7-1. Rangers are going to bat around in the 11th inning. Joey Gallo. Dodger bullpen implodes. 1-6. That's a strikeout. That'll help. But now the man who started the inning with the base hit, Rougned Odor, is back up again. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 6 already in. 1-8, and he's going to strike out to end the inning. But damage done. Baez goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits and a run. No walks, 2 strikeouts, but a 6-pack by the Rangers in the 11th inning. And now Jimmy Herget, since he hit for himself, he can stay in the game and finish it out. I'll just change this to 2 1/3 and then update the numbers. Jimmy Herget will go ahead and pitch for himself. Facing Corey Seager, Kike Hernandez, and Peterson. 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Herget. 1 away for Kike Hernandez. So the Dodgers, who by actual win-loss record was supposed to dominate this league, are going to go 0-1 at home. 6-5. That's ground ball shortstop X. Andrews is a 3E17. 3-11, he'll get to it. 3-11 is a G2. That's an 11 there. And an E17, no 11. So good play for Andrews. And now it's the final guy is Jock Peterson. That's a 5-7 left-handed. That's a walk. That'll keep the game going for one more batter. So we got to add a walk to Herget's numbers. And also add a strikeout. And now here's Austin Barnes. Unless they want to pinch hit for Barnes. They do have Matt Beattie. Matt Beattie, a lefty, a 254 hitter. He will hit for Barnes. So Matt Beattie. Oh, just one Y, just one T in Beattie. All right, so Beattie, and he was projected to have a 254 average, and he is left-handed. So he will pinch hit. Try to extend it one more batter. 6-6, and he does not. He strikes out to end the ball game. So make that 3 strikeouts for Herget. And he goes 2 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and he is the winner, 1-0. And Floro, the tough luck loser, 0-1. 7-1 ball game. Unbelievable. Look like the Dodgers are going to pitch a shutout. Rangers get that run in the 9th, and then all heck breaks loose in the 11th. So let's get the final line score for the Rangers. They managed 8 hits, 7 runs and 8 hits. I don't believe they made an error. The only error I can think of was up here. And that was, where'd it go? That E6, that's what really opened the floodgates to tie the game. I think the Dodgers had the only error. And then 10 hits with the Dodgers. 1 run and 10 hits. But they hit into 2 double plays and left some other guys on base. Had a guy at third with 2 outs and left him there. Runner on second to start the inning, left him there. They had the bases loaded. 1 out, hit into a double play. So did not help the cause. They had 2 on, 2 out, and pinch hitter grounded out. So that kind of hurt them right there. So the Rangers go to 1-0, and the Dodgers drop to 0-1. So that's you've seen all 5 games from opening day now here in this Demolition League. And then I've got to do some thinking about how I want to handle certain things going forward, particularly lineups, because I try to keep the original lineup from opening day real world. But now I think all bets are off, and we can just go with whatever we want to go with. And then I got to think about what to do with the pitcher hitting cards, whether I'll keep it with pitcher hitting card 1 or look back at their 2019. Look at their 2019 stats, pitcher hitting cards, and see what, maybe give them those pitcher hitting card numbers. So I have to think about that. Got some time before I go back to another game of this. So give me some time to think about it and see what I feel like it might be best. Clayton Kershaw is scheduled to pitch game 2 for the Dodgers against the Rangers. Kenley Jansen starts the year with a blown save. How about that? All right, so I do appreciate everybody who sat through this and tried to figure out this 2020 Imagine stuff along with me. Tried to manage the best I could manage based on what I saw with the card ratings. And I mean, Dylan Floro had good numbers, but boy, he didn't show it. That's for sure. But things like that happen, I guess. That's why you roll the dice, because the dice have their own mind of their own. Game 2 of the series will be two lefties. It'll be Mike Minor for the Rangers against Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. That'll be game 2 of the series. And the pressure will be on the Dodgers because they do not want to go down 0-2 to start the season. So anyway, that's going to do it from here. I hope you all are having a nice weekend, whatever you have planned and whatever you got going on. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.